Hello and welcome. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moodle Admin Training, our first live online meeting. I'm glad you joined us, whether you're here on Zoom or whether you're on YouTube watching the live streaming or whether you're watching the recording. Those who are here will be able to get their certificate of attendance, plus they get a chance to use their audio for questions throughout. So right now you've got the audio available, so you can unmute yourself at any time and ask or add your comments. So let's get started. You can start by introducing yourself and telling us, if you like, you don't have to, where you're from and how you are. And I hope you're doing well. This meeting shouldn't be too long today, since it is our first meeting. And we will start. I think I may also change the time of the meeting to make it more possible for everyone. And that is a bit earlier for you, perhaps a couple of hours earlier. Today I had no choice, but next time I would like to make this at least 4 hours, I think, earlier to make it more accessible. So I hope that makes it easier for everyone. A little bit about me and what I do. I am a teacher educator right now. I offer free online courses for teachers around the globe, as well as workshops. I also provide faculty workshops to universities around the world, some for free and some not for free. I currently teach at an MSc program in Greece at a distance using Moodle. I teach immersive virtual reality and augmented reality experiences and technologies for mostly educators, but for others as well. This is what we're going to be talking about today. We'll go through Moodle, introduction and aspirations, mine, and I hope they coincide with yours. My teaching and learning methods in these courses. Let's get acquainted. 1, 2, 3, your teaching perspectives. The video tutorials you'll be creating using screen recorders, such as video of the layout and of your profile. We'll be using one editor, rich editor, and that's TinyMCE, because in Moodle 5, there's only one. They got rid of Auto, and they promised that they would have it as a plugin, but right now it's not. So many people are quite upset about Moodle 5, but I'm happy with TinyMCE. And I knew about it in advance, but not everybody knew about this. And we'll be discussing AI generators in and out of Moodle, as well as Moodle activities, and of course, the digital badges for each section and the final certificate. So what is Moodle? For you, since you've had some experience, you've had quite a bit of experience, not just some experience. With Moodle, it is a learning management system, and you can see that it's open 24/7. So I'm looking at the chat to get some insight here. Oh, you're here. Great. I'm glad. Wow. And now I see who's here. So we've got the world. From one end, I thought, Kevin, you were in British Columbia. I don't know why. So I was going to say from one end of Canada to the other end, but actually you're almost there. But we've also have Australia, and Corinne, I'm not sure where you're from, and Nagua is from Myanmar, sorry. Yeah, Tunisia, I wasn't sure. Yes. And we've got center, well, more or less, from Ontario with Lena. All right. So for me, I don't know what it is for you. You can write that in the chat. For me, Moodle is more than a learning management system. It's a campus, a university. I used to think of it as a house, but it's more than an open house. It's a whole campus. It's got everything. And it's open 24/7, not only to get information, but to also engage in activities. Anyone can come 24/7, open, just walk right through. That's Moodle for me, and I'd love to hear what it is for you. Well, you'll be learning about managing Moodle, so you'll have to know quite a bit. So what does it stand for? It stands for M, modular, O, object, O, oriented, D, dynamic, L, learning, and E, environment, Moodle. And the modular are the plugins because Moodle is open source. It was developed by, it started with Martin Dogiamas, but he wasn't the only one that developed Moodle. Moodle has been developing with Moodle developers. It's a huge community. Some provide free. Well, in the old days, everybody provided free services, PHP as well as JavaScript. And then now some provide the services for a fee, and the plugins cost money, but most of them are free. Moodle is free. It's open source and free to download and install. Download from moodle.org and install completely free. The only thing that costs money is the hosting. And we'll learn more about the hosting, but the hosting has to be dedicated server. Moodle cannot work if the server is not a dedicated or at least a VPS, because otherwise you won't be able to move anything. So it needs certain requirements. And these can start from around, I guess, 200 a year, which is very, very cheap. But generally, dedicated servers run at 200 a month. When I started with Moodle, I mean, I had to move on to a dedicated server very, very quickly. So I went through the whole process, and I was paying IBM. I started paying around $200 a month, and I'm talking about 15 years ago. And it slowly went up to 400 a month, which was a lot, US dollars, which was a lot. But right now, I'm lucky to have found someone who is very, very professional and dedicated. So I'm happy with what I'm paying right now. So let's take a look at my experiences with computer-assisted language learning and my Moodle background. I started with the computer lab in 1993. I soon learned about Moodle and how to build websites and web quests in 2003. That's when I started. And I became an admin of a Moodle right away because I was thrown into it. And that's how I learned. It's basically experience. And I think that's what's very important. The more you use the features, the more you become an expert. It takes practice and a lot of doing and a lot of making mistakes and a lot of troubleshooting. But that's how you ultimately sustain learning. In 2009, I started teaching Moodle online because there wasn't anything out there on the platform that you're currently learning on. It wasn't called integrating technology in those days. It wasn't that domain. The domain was actually moodle.org, but you're not allowed to use Moodle in your domain. So I had to change that, but it was called Moodle for Teachers, and that's what I started the training, and I have continued. Moodle has changed since 2003 and since it started in 2001. My aspirations are that participants are active, that they are active learners, and that they explore the Moodle features, share their learning experiences, and experience learning both personally and professionally. And Moodle is perfect for just that. What is active participatory learning? It means that the learners or the educational approach is to engage the learners in the process through activities, discussions, and collaboration. Moodle was made for this. It wasn't meant to be used as a repository the way many LMSs are, even though things have changed slightly in the world after COVID. The benefits, of course, are huge because it enhances understanding and retention, and critical thinking and problem-solving skills are developed because it's not only about accessing information, it's about what you do with the information. I practice teaching, peer teaching, and peer learning. That's the method that I use, and I use this in all my university courses and in these courses. Peer teaching and learning, I usually call it peer learning, but it's teaching. It involves students learning from each other and teaching each other. That's the idea, not just to learn. They do learn, but they're actually actively engaged in teaching. Everyone's a teacher on Moodle. And they even have teacher rights. You can give students specific teacher rights in certain activities and resources. It's different from discovery learning because discovery learning, learners work independently and they do not necessarily share. There's no sharing involved. While on Moodle, the focus is on sharing, giving, and taking, not just taking and being a passive learner. The environment is highly interactive. Everybody's engaged and active, unlike in discovery learning. What's wonderful about Moodle and the way it was designed is that there's social constructivism, where in discovery learning is just constructivism, which is fine, but it's not the way we learn and remember information, especially nowadays, but even in the past, where students are constantly sharing information. And that's how they feel empowered. The fact that they can share what they know, and they do this in social networks, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, now LinkedIn. They're constantly sharing information, and you'll see that and we all benefit, of course, because they benefit, they're doing the sharing, and we benefit because we're participating in learning from them. So this is going on anyways, but it makes it very, very appropriate to have it in Moodle because, as I said, that's how Moodle was developed, for peer instruction, peer assessment, and there are activities just for that. Now, as the admin, you'll have a chance to view all of this from the back end, of course, but you'll still get a chance to see how it's designed and how to incorporate certain plugins. You'll learn about the core plugins as well as the additional plugins. In the particular Moodle site that you'll be working on, you'll be adding the plugins for Moodle 5. You're going to be doing all the work. The Moodle is raw. It has nothing in it. Well, a little bit that I added, but I tried to keep it at a minimum so that you will be the ones who will be adding everything to the Moodle site. And don't worry, you can't do any harm. Worst comes to worst, if something goes wrong, I just restore it to an earlier time, and then everything will be just fine. You started this course with the orientation. It's a 4-week course, but there are a few sections. We'll go through some of them here. In the orientation with Moodle 5, you need to actually watch the video, and in many cases, to get your green light credit, you need to go into YouTube to watch it. Okay, there are a few glitches now with 5. It's a little bit different, but things get ironed out and fixed very, very quickly. But that's the process. And there are benefits to upgrading to the latest Moodle always. The screen recorders, since you'll be creating videos using screen recorders, and your recordings will be long, relatively long. They won't be just 10 minutes. Canva Screen Recorder allows you to have unlimited time for free. And Wondershare as well. They both have an editor. With Wondershare, there are also filters and many, many wonderful things. With Canva, you can also edit the video when you finish. I provided 2 videos for you to watch in order to be able, I'm not going to play them now, but you'll be able to watch them and see and then decide which one you want to use. As I said, unless you're using a paid version such as Camtasia, where you'll have unlimited time. With Wondershare, you need, just like with Camtasia, anyone using Camtasia? Because with Wondershare, you need to download it. But with Canva Screen Recorder, it is in the browser, so you don't need to do anything. There's going to be a lot of learning, Lena, and I think you're going to love it. I know I have enjoyed being an admin very much. I love it, especially installing plugins and upgrading. It's a lot of fun. One of the tools that you'll be using is Generico, where you insert and embed. But not everything, as many of you have learned, can be inserted or embedded using Generico. And these are the different ways. And you'll be able to see from the back end on how, if this interests you, on how to work with Generico and how to add these tabs, for example. Everything that you see in YouTube, that you see in Moodle, in the courses that you've been taking with me, those who have, you'll be able to do everything. And this is Generico. You can hyperlink words as well as just add the link. Now, this is something important you may not have discovered, and that is that you do not insert or embed YouTube or Vimeo. You simply paste the link and it is responsive, or at least the message area is responsive, and it gets embedded on its own magic. With Google Drive, it's a little trickier. And I suggest you use Google Drive, especially if you're not interested in YouTube or Vimeo. With Google Drive, you simply upload the MP4 to your Google Drive, and then you share it publicly. Then you open it in a browser, get the embed code, and embed in the source code, or you simply use Generico and add just the link, and not the rest of the embed code. So these are things that you will be looking at and trying out. So what are the latest Moodle activities and resources and AI external tools? Because there are AI internal tools that are now part of Moodle 5. So these are, and you probably recognize them, these are just the activities, not the resources. And you'll be able to install many of these, well, all of them actually, because the Moodle site where you will be working doesn't have only the core ones. And it doesn't have most of these. I don't know, it has a discussion forum, but you'll be able to see all of that, but it doesn't have most of them. With feedback fruits, that's, I believe that's paid for. I got it for free, but I get some tools for free, but that you can't. But Kialo, you will have to install on your own. And well, Big Blue Button is there, but you'll have to fix it so that it works. And you'll have to add sticky notes. You'll have the glossary and the forum, SCORM package. H5P, I'm not sure, because things are changing with that as well. But lesson you'll have, but the rest you'll have to add. So it's going to be exciting because you're going to actually add to the site, to the Moodle site. You're going to be the bosses. You're going to be the admin, all of you. So it's going to be a lot of fun. These are some external tools, AI external tools that you'll be able to use, and you're probably familiar with most of them. Now we're going to take a look at some additional and core AI. Now, when I say additional, I mean, for example, Genie AI. You will be able to install this because it's not there. And notice here the information. You'll have to get an OpenAI API in order to add this. I mean, I have my own, but I'm going to let you do it. Okay, it won't cost you anything. I think it might for maybe $5, but I don't think it's going to cost you anything. But you'll go through the process. And there's cursive. Now I get cursive for free, so you'll get a chance to see what it's like. But it generally costs money, $2 per student per year, which isn't too bad. But cursive is amazing, and you might want to know about it. You'll have a chance to see it in my course because it verifies whether the student is the author or not through biometrics of the typing, their pressure on the keyboard. And this pressure will determine whether they copied and pasted it or not. So they can't really copy and paste, but more about that, and you'll be able to ask questions if that interests you. That's an additional AI for Moodle. Now, Moodle comes with these. These are AI placement. It's right there. And this is through OpenAI, Olama, and Azure, which is Microsoft. What these AI tools on Moodle do is first one is generate text. It creates content from a text prompt. It generates images from text. It summarizes text, course, and it also explains. And I think that's, there's also an AI assistant that you'll get a chance to also play around with. This is paid, but it also comes with Moodle. So Moodle has these AI tools, but it's free to install, but you need to pay for the users to use it. It doesn't cost if you don't do anything, but if students use it, it'll cost money. So you'll be able to install it without paying anything if you're using OpenAI, for example. You'll be creating a video tutorial, and there's also a sample of a video tutorial of the course layout, and you're familiar with if you've taken courses with me. If not, you'll get a chance to use a screen recorder and share the left, center, and right of the Moodle course. I've added, and you'll have a chance to do this yourself. There's something called profile customization. Generally, you don't have to select your country, and you don't have to select the time zone. What I did was I forced it. In other words, I added customization where everyone has to add their country, their gender, and their time zone, because I think this is important. So Moodle doesn't expect you to do that, but you can customize the Moodle and add it, and you'll have a chance to play with that as well. So this website where you are the admin will give you a chance to try things out, or you might not be able to do this on your own Moodle site if you have one. If you don't have one, that's okay. So this is what you need for Moodle. Okay, this is what is required if you want to have Moodle 5. Notice the information that I got is from ChatGPT. ChatGPT offers you everything you need. You do not need to pay, and please do not pay any Moodle developer. They used to charge something like upfront $10,000, and $250, I'm talking about over 10 years ago, per hour. So now it could be $400 an hour. Do not pay. And I'm sorry for all the Moodle developers who are trying to make money on poor teachers. I mean, not poor teachers, but teachers who can't afford to pay them, really. And sometimes you get stuck. ChatGPT has all the information you need. And if you're using the host that I use, you'll be able to get this information for free. And if you ask me, and I'll be able to help you whenever you have a question, just like I help anybody else, completely free. Just ask away if you get stuck. Do not pay, okay? No matter how late at night it is, don't pay. You don't have to. And Moodle is quite sturdy these days. Things don't go wrong if you've got the right hosting. Moodle does go wrong when you have shared hosting. Shared hosting does not go with Moodle. So forget about shared hosting and get dedicated hosting. So this is the information that I knew, but I wanted ChatGPT to tell me so I can test it. And you'll be using ChatGPT a lot to get information. Of course, I'll be checking. So ChatGPT gave me this information. It said that 8.1, this is PHP, was all you needed for Moodle 5. So I said, no, that's not accurate. So sometimes, from my experience, I need to tell ChatGPT, please provide me with accurate information. I say it just like that. The information is not accurate, or if I don't know, if I'm not sure, I'll ask ChatGPT, make sure I want accurate information. And I'll keep saying that. And you'll notice that things change. So I told ChatGPT, it's not 8.1, it's 8.2. So ChatGPT, of course, apologized. You're absolutely right to point that out. And I appreciate your patience. This is ChatGPT telling me. The error was mine. I initially stated that PHP 8.1 is supported in Moodle 5, which is incorrect. Moodle 5 requires 8.2 as the minimum version, and 8.1 is not supported at all. So you have to be very, very careful and ask and keep asking for accurate information. If you want to speak, feel free to unmute. So yes, there's a question there. Excellent question, Robin. By embedding things, will this save? Yes, exactly. And we'll be talking about it. That's what I do. I have to save space because if you don't, for example, if you upload MP4s, MP3 is not so bad, but MP4 is really heavy. Or if you use screen recorders the way I did, and Kevin remembers that I had to stop it, that takes a lot of bandwidth. So no, embedding doesn't take anything. And that's the idea. It doesn't take memory, but it's not just the memory. You don't want the site to be slow because your students will not be happy with a slow website. So you want the performance to be fast. And notice what ChatGPT continued here. It actually apologized. This happened. It's giving excuses why I've made a mistake. This happened because earlier versions of Moodle, like 4.2 and 4.3, did support PHP 8.1, and I incorrectly assumed that the support continued in 5. I should have double-checked the official release notes for Moodle 5, where it's clearly stated that okay, you got the idea. You have to keep asking for accurate information, but it'll save you a lot of time, a lot of money instead of going to a developer for help. So these are some reasons of why embed, as you mentioned, seamless integration, privacy issues, and of course to save space and memory. And avoid distractions because students don't leave the courses. And this is important. You want them to view the website or to do the activity always in the course and not leave the course. Now, another change, as I mentioned, is Tiny MCE. Auto is gone. So it's just Tiny MCE, rich editor. And notice how rich it is. This comes with the Moodle, but you need to enable it. Okay, so this is something that you will do because when you go into the raw site where you will be the admin, you'll see that some things are missing. All of this should be there and you will have to enable it. So this is something you will learn to do. This is another Jenny AI is an assistant. It's a wonderful assistant that appears at the bottom right, and it helps students with the course. You'll get a chance to see what that's like as well. I mentioned cursive, and I mentioned this. Why is this back here? The grading in the course is out of 100. No in-between grades. If you do the activity, you get 100. If you don't do it, you don't get 100. Week 1 is divided into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2, and you get a badge for each part. If you have a lot of scorms are fine. So there's this presentation. You will find it in week 1. Let's get acquainted. 1, 2, 3 introduction, layout of the course. That's the first video you watch, and then you generate a video, create your own video using how to navigate. And then this is very important, how to retrieve login details. Now you are all in the, not as an admin, not yet, but you're all in the website. The name of the website is NEP, Nellie's English Projects, and there's history to that. Okay, that was the first website that I created in 2003, if you remember from my from before. And in 2025, I decided it was time to stop it. And I turned it into a Moodle admin for you guys to practice your admin skills. Then there's AI in Moodle, pros and cons of AI in Moodle. What are some of the benefits and the drawbacks? And then you'll be creating a slide presentation for the pros and cons. That's part 1. Once you get part 1, you will begin working in NEP as the admin. And you'll be going in part 2, but first you have to finish part 1. So get part 1 finished as quickly as possible. You'll get a chance to go into the admin settings and see what's there. You'll start with the general settings for week 1 and then go on in the weeks to come. And we'll be working through questions. You will be using ChatGPT and yourself, because it's not only ChatGPT, to ask questions. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, about the general site administration and the console. You'll also get the role of an administrator on the server and learn about what it means to be an administrator on a server, because as the admin, most of you are also the admin of your servers. Am I right? Is this everyone? Does everyone have a server? If not, then you will learn about it. You'll be using Softiculous, or you should be using Softiculous because it's the easiest one to use. You'll be doing a Kahoot game to enrich your learning. 2 Kahoot games, actually. So let me take you there now. I think now. Oh, we'll wait a bit. Okay. So there's a video here on how to retrieve login. Now, what does it mean to retrieve login? Let's go into that. Okay, what does it mean to retrieve login? Any ideas? You can unmute yourself and speak, please. Then I won't only hear my voice. Okay, this is week 1, part 1. This is part 2.
To retrieve login for a student, are you referring to?
Any user, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. On Moodle, yeah, on Moodle, we don't call them students. We call them well, they call them. It's not we. They're called users. Okay, and
Okay.
you'll be
Yeah.
learning about users because there are different roles that you can give. You can have your own teachers as well, and you'll give them different roles. You can have cohorts. You'll learn more about that as we go. So let me go into the site to give you an idea of what it looks like. Okay, I'm in. It's nelliemuller.com. I will share that in the chat. So if you go there now, there we are. Okay, that used to be another site, and there's a whole history here if you're interested in learning more about what happened with NEP and how NEP started and how it changed. Let's continue here. So there's a video in the course on how to retrieve login details, and you did it. Okay, so congratulations for that. Now, every time you forget your login, and you can forget as many times as you wish. Okay, it's fine. Notice the login, the normal login for a Moodle site is a username and password. On my site, or Moodle sites actually, and all my Moodle sites, except for this one, because this one, you're the admin, is by social services. And you'll learn how to do this as well. Okay, so this is something that you will learn. And there are advantages and disadvantages to that as well. These are the digital badges that you'll be getting. How many of you got the orientation badge so far? Anyone? And then there's week 1, part 1, part 2. So you get 2 badges for week 1. And then week 2, 1 badge, week 3. And week 4, you get 2 badges as well, because week 4 is divided into 2 parts as well. And then the final certificate with 40 hours. These are some references, and there's an interesting article from 2025 on the effects of feedback providers and positive emotional tone on the learners. And that's it. Are there any questions at this point? Because you probably got a lot of information and you'll need
Um,
to try things out before. But yes, go ahead.
yes, hi. So I got my new password and I'm in, but it says there's no courses for me. So is that normal? And the NEP,
Yes, because you haven't joined the support course yet.
exactly. So I need to, okay.
Yeah. And you'll
So
and you'll get the enrollment key in the course in week 2.
yes, okay, okay.
Okay, so
So
you
I'm
got to
doing
go
good.
through a few steps before.
Okay, thank you.
But it's all going to happen in week 1. So first of all, go through the first part of week 1, and then you're on your way.
Lovely.
So hurry up with the first, just a few activities in part 1. Any other questions? I see something in the chat that I can answer. Might not be. Kevin, I'm not sure. It's still there. It's there. It's there. But yeah, right now it's there and it's fine. But they haven't upgraded it yet to Moodle 5. And I hope they'll do it. I'm sure they'll do it. They're not going to lose all of us. Okay, so if you didn't manage to add, there's a video on that in the orientation, Robin. So go through that. And if you need help, just go into the support forum and I'll be happy to walk you through that. Because I think it's important for you to learn. And it's good that you're having problems because this way you'll be able to help your students as well so that they can connect it. We don't want to keep badges. If you keep badges, it'll be too much for your system, for your Moodle. You want to get rid of badges. So I encourage students, and you might consider encouraging your students to connect the backpacks. And now it's Canvas to connect them so that you can, when the course finishes, you can get rid of the badges that were awarded and you don't have to keep them in the system. So yes, it's a good idea. Kevin, is there a question there? Oh, wait, yes, about H5P. So H5P should be working now just fine. I tried them and they seem to be just fine. But they still need to upgrade their system. I guess it's taking time. Any other questions? No?
Sorry,
Yes, go ahead, Robin.
quicker to ask than type. So is it worthwhile upgrading to Moodle 5 yet, or hold
I
off?
would, well, right now you can't because you're where you are right now. I don't know, do you still have the old hosting?
No, it's all been changed.
Oh, you changed, so you
all that.
can, yes, so you have no
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
You've got you've got what most don't have. I mean, seriously, I struggled for so many years, with hosting that didn't support me, and I couldn't understand why I was paying so much money and not getting any kind of support. So, this is you're lucky. You're not going to have to go through what I went through and what
Right.
many others went through, because actually Moodle is great for for businesses that can afford, big businesses or universities that can afford to have a Moodle partner, which is in the tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know, if up to 20,000, depending on how many, could be 20, $30,000 a year, which is a lot. And if you're an individual or a small business, it's hard because you need to find the right hosting, and there aren't. And then just be very, very careful and, go through problems. So I'm glad. So yes, you can definitely,
Okay.
but
No, I'm
you have
very
to be
grateful
careful.
for your
Oh,
support.
okay. There are some restrictions. You're on
Right.
Moodle 4.5, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to be careful. I mean, you'll get help anyways, no matter what. But if you want to avoid asking for help, you have to make sure that you go into, I don't know what theme you're using. The theme has to always be on Boost.
Pretty
And
sure
then
that's
you
what it
have
is. Yeah.
to upgrade the themes. Oh, you probably watched my video, so
I did.
right, you watched so you know what I'm talking. I don't have to
Yeah.
repeat myself. But if you have any questions, please ask.
Yep. I will.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
support
Appreciate it.
teachers and small businesses because I believe in what we're doing, and I think that there's not enough support
Amazing.
out there.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for using Moodle, because I think Moodle is amazing.
Hi, Dr. Nelly. I just
Yes.
okay, so now I'm in the process of changing my domain. And I was paying for
Hosting.
shared hosting with one company, and I should have, like, once I change the domain, I'm going to re assign somebody. But I think now, after your advice, I'm not going to go with shared hosting. Do
No,
you
you
have any
can't.
recommend?
It's not for Moodle. If it
Yeah.
were, we would all be using it, but it doesn't work.
Okay. So, do
Moodle
you
is a
have any
very
recommendations?
dynamic.
Do you
Pardon?
have do you have any recommendations for
I do.
companies?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I recommended for Robin and Kevin and Liz, Elizabeth, and others, and myself. I also moved from IBM. I was paying IBM so much money, and I wasn't getting. I mean, I had a dedicated server, but I was paying a lot of money without any kind of support. I had to figure
Yeah.
things out before ChatGPT, you know, and
Yeah.
it was hard until I found.
Can you give me a name of
Yeah,
somebody?
of course,
Yes. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
I'll do that. Just make sure that you ask. Either send me an email
Yes.
or through and I'll connect, or I'll just connect you. You know what? I'll just connect you. I've got your email.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay. Because it could be wonderful, but if you're using shared, you're going to have a lot of problems because they
Yeah.
don't upgrade. First of all, they don't upgrade their PHPs, And I'll tell you my experience with a shared hosting. That was my first shared hosting. It was a Canadian, I think, Toronto-based company. My Hosting, they were called, and they had Moodle. But after a while, I got a warning telling me to stop. Stop what? Stop causing everybody to lose their memory. I mean, like to lose their sights. I was causing problems to everybody else because I was, it was because it's shared. My share was taking over. And they just told me you have to leave because we don't provide dedicated service. And I
Wow.
had to leave and I had to find another one. And then I followed Moodle.org and I found out where they were hosting and I followed them. And then it was ridiculous until I got to IBM and just paid a lot of money for nothing.
Wow.
So I wouldn't want anybody to go through that. But
I
it's
was
been
I
years.
I paid last year shared hosting with Som. They're called Som. What are they called? Elizabeth had told me about them.
Mhm.
But this year I thought I'm not going to subscribe with them because I've heard that we shouldn't with Moodle.
No,
Yeah.
Moodle's different. It's not WordPress. They usually advertise for WordPress, and they actually believe that WordPress and Moodle require the same thing because they do both require PHP. But Moodle requires other things that they don't bother to install, and then you're stuck and you can't use
Yeah.
Moodle.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
I
it's
will
a
be waiting.
different system.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so thank you and keep asking questions. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us. Enjoy your time at the hotel, conference, or whatever. Thank you. Please ask questions, and every question is brilliant, so don't feel that your question is not good enough. Thank you.